Sometimes an election is so consequential, it changes American lives for generations. And it's not always the presidential elections either. Case in point, the 1958 midterms and the decades of dominoes that fell because of it.
Help me put the lid on crazy government spending.
Republicans had it pretty good through most of the 50s. Their guy, Dwight Eisenhower, was in the White House, they won about half of the House and Senate races for most of the decade, and they were able to get stuff done. Until 1958, when a recession hit and Republicans faced major blowback from their anti-union efforts. Democrats mopped the floor with the conservative coalition in the midterms, flipping 13 seats in the Senate and 48 in the House, paving the way for some of America's most progressive and impactful legislation ever, including the Civil Rights Act and LBJ's Great Society.
There was not a lot of change in what happened in terms of legislation immediately after 1958 because Dwight Eisenhower was still president.
Andrew Bush is a professor of history at Claremont McKenna College and the author of Horses in Midstream, a book focused on midterm consequences. That includes all of the transformative legislation passed by the Democrats who were elected in 1958. The Equal Pay Act, the 24th Amendment, which eradicated poll taxes, and, with just enough votes to overcome a Senate filibuster, the Civil Rights Act.
Its purpose is to promote a more abiding commitment to freedom.
Then almost every member of that Democratic class of 1958 won re-election in 1964, allowing the party to pass the Voting Rights Act and push through President Lyndon B. Johnson's unprecedented vision for a great society. That included the creation of Medicare and Medicaid, the nation's first food stamp program, record investment in education and housing, the Wilderness Protection Act, and new regulation over air and water pollution.
So there are a lot of pieces that came about in the Great Society that were traceable to these votes that Democrats gained in 1958.
All of those falling dominoes, impacting hundreds of millions of American lives and trillions of American dollars, can be traced back to America's willingness to turn out for a midterm election in 1958.